Look, I encourage everybody to be safe and take care of your family. I do. But there's still some people that don't want to take it, and you shouldn't have to be forced to take something that you don't want. So
I don't think people are being forced to take. Well, there are some. There are. I mean, listen, we have a mandate at CBS.
That's force.
We have a mandate at CBS. But my point.
That's force.
But where I wholeheartedly.
That's force.
No, it's not force.
It is force, because if the man don't take it, the man will get fired.
Now, Shaq is not a so-called expert, but he's right. He believes him. At the end of the day, you're going to have to make adult decisions. Keep in mind the experts, the ones most concerned with what you say and what you hear, have actually been spreading the most misinformation, and on a much larger scale with a much bigger platform than anyone else in the country. Remember, they told you that if you get the COVID-19 vaccine, guess what? You're not going to get COVID, and you can't transmit the disease. In fact, if you said anything else or questioned their perfect science, you were censored. You were chastised. You were banned on social media. Take a look.
You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Vaccines prevent getting infected, prevent getting sick, prevent your hospitalization.
Our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick, and that it's not just in the clinical trials, but it's also in real-world data.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else.
What do they all have in common? They're all wrong. They talk about Joe Rogan. What they all said was all misinformation. None of those people, by the way, were banned from Twitter or chastised or beaten up for lying like that. And that's not all. Remember when Biden and Pelosi and every other Democrat on earth, they promised there would be no vaccine mandates. They told you that too. Take a look.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory. But
perhaps the federal government should step in and issue mandates, and if not, are you putting the needs of unvaccinated people ahead of the needs of vaccinated people?
Well, I think the question here, one, that's not the role of the federal government. That is the role that institutions, private sector entities, and others may take. That certainly is appropriate. Also, local communities are going to take steps they need to take.
So here's the thing. We cannot require someone to be vaccinated. That's just not what we can do.
I don't think you'll ever see a mandating of vaccine, particularly for the general public.
More misinformation. Actually, they were all probably lying. Either way, when you're a Democrat, if you're part of the establishment, the elite left, guess what? You almost never face any consequences when you propagate misinformation or distort the truth or get something wrong. Look at the great Dr. Fauci. He's been wrong on everything. Masks aren't going to do anything. That's what he first said. Then it was 1, 2, vax or mask, vax and mask, mask and booster. The origins of COVID-19, yeah, not honest, was he? Vaccine transmissibility, wrong there. Death rates, wrong there. And yet Dr. Fauci is the highest paid person in the U.S. government, worshipped by Democrats, while my next guest actually played a vital role in creating the technology that allowed for the creation of mRNA vaccines, you know, the ones like Pfizer and Moderna. And because he has different views than Fauci and company, he's been utterly vilified, and Joe Rogan vilified for having him on his show. I've interviewed him on radio before we get to Dr. Malone. I don't play doctor on radio or TV. I can't tell you what to do. I don't know anything about your life, medical condition. I didn't go to medical school. I've said over and over, take this seriously. I've seen the worst of it. I know many people died. Now, research on your own, and I'm not talking about a lab coat to you idiots over at CNN. Research on the internet, learn so you can ask your doctor smart questions. Factor in your unique medical history, your current medical condition. Talk to your doctor, your doctors, your medical professionals that you trust. And yes, I absolutely believe in science. Speaking of which, we welcome now world-renowned